Do you want to spend 72 hours with me in a cozy reading nook? Who am I kidding? Of course you do. That's why you clicked on this video. If you don't know, 72 Hours is a readathon that I host with a couple friends. It happens probably twice a year, and we change the theme up every single year, but there's always 2 spinning wheels, and we spin all weekend. We spend 72 hours together. We're pretty much live the entire 72 hours. We do sleep, so I'm gonna say we're probably live about like 55 hours combined, which is a lot. I need to do my first spin, and I spend every 72 hours in a fort, which is what you're seeing right now. I turned my little office library situation into a fort. There are sheets everywhere and a mattress on the floor, and I spend all 72 hours in this, other than the washroom and eating. Sometimes I will take a break and eat outside of this thing because it's hot in here, but I spend mostly 72 hours in this. Like, I sleep in this thing. I'm committed to the cause. So we have an in your comfort zone wheel and an out of your comfort zone wheel. They have the same prompts, it's just the books that you're picking will be different. I need to do my first spin, but I'm really struggling with what wheel to choose. So I think I'm gonna slightly cheat, and I'm just gonna spin the wheel, see what prompt I get, and then stick with that wheel for the night on, depending on what book I decide to choose for that prompt. Because like, I'm stuck. I have to like awkwardly duck over here because the sheet is like really hanging down here. I might try and fix that before I have to spend a long time in here. I think the only thing I truly don't want is wild. I think that wild will give me decision paralysis. I think I want more of a prompt. Like, even like the format ones, like most read format and least read format, will give me too much of an option. I really truly want like something that is going to give me a specific book that I have to read. I do not want decision paralysis. I am already having decision paralysis not being able to pick what wheel to start with. I'm gonna be blurry, but the wheel is going to be in focus. Are you ready? I'm not ready. I get so scared to spin this thing. Most read format. I said I didn't want this, so of course I got it. Okay, I think if I look at all the books that are calling to me, I really want to read these 2, and this one I have to read physically, which is my most read format. And this one I have the audiobook for. So I think that this one leaves this one out at the moment, and I would pick this one, and these are both for in my comfort zone, or I have these for out of my comfort zone that are calling to me. I have this in audiobook and this in ebook format, so I think the stowaway would be what I would read for out of my comfort zone. I truly do not know what to do. I truly don't. I have a few hours. The readathon does not start quite yet. I'm spinning a little bit early to get myself ready and situated. I really truly need to sit on this. I just like cannot decide, and I will keep you updated as soon as I've figured out my decision. Okay, I did decide to go with the stowaway. I have a cute little light thing on here, which is gonna come in handy because without my ring light on, this fort gets really dark, and I don't want to have the ring light on the entire time. I'm only about 60 pages into this, but I figured I would already tell you my first thoughts and kind of what this book is about. It is a thriller, and we're following our main character Maria, who was picked for jury duty for like a serial killer case. Very, very like rough case with only circumstantial evidence. So Maria can't justly say that this guy's guilty because there's no like real concrete evidence. It's a very, very circumstantial. So she ends up being the one juror who says he's not guilty, and so he gets set free. She ends up taking a cruise where a murder happens that is quite like the murders from the case, and she is the only person on board with the most intimate knowledge of the case since she was on jury duty. So she has to figure out if it's a copycat or if she's stuck on board with the person she let go all those months ago. I'm so far really enjoying this. It's a really quick read. It's really fast paced. I'm engaged, and I'm thinking something's gonna go down, and I'm stressed for her. I am someone who could relate because I don't think that I could say this guy was guilty. If it was all circumstantial, like the evidence that they had against him was not damning enough for me to say that he was guilty either. And I think the media is crazy and will do things like this. So I'm definitely relating to her, and I'm thinking that is more stressful because I can really put myself in her shoes, and that's really stressful to think that this could happen in a situation like this. So far, really, really enjoying it. I am roughly halfway through, and I'm really, really, really enjoying this. I'm stressed for what's happening. I love the addition of the multiple POVs. It's really adding to the story and the creepy level, in my opinion. I'm really, really liking this. I'm taking a small break for some dinner. We have flank steak and a tomato salad on a bed of quinoa and rice mixed together. This is like day 3 of our Mediterranean diet plan, and I also have a glass of red wine to go with it. And of course, reading sprints. The thing that just happened? I don't have words. I don't have words for what just happened. Oh my god. Ah! That's disturbing. This book is so messed up and I love it. My first book of the readathon is done, and I'm really, really excited to tell you I'm giving it 4 stars. I really honestly almost gave it 5 stars. It was really close to me. I think there was a little bit of predictability in here for me, and I kind of wish that I felt a little bit more isolated on the ship than I fully did. However, this book was honestly unputdownable, and I think even if I hadn't been reading it for a 72-hour readathon, I would have read it in one sitting. It is so easy bingeable. I was constantly thrilled. The pacing was so high paced that like I literally don't think I could have put this book down. It was very, very addicting and well written. I really enjoyed the story. Maybe I'm gonna give it 5 stars. Honestly, I'm giving it 5 stars. I've talked myself into a 5 star because, I don't know, I just had a really good time with this. I think that it was so fun. Like, I was not expecting it to be as horrific as it is. Like, some of the things that happen in this are, like, messed up, but it had, like, that thriller pace, so it's kind of a mix between a thriller and a horror. It kind of reminds me of Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates, which feels the same way to me, just, like, the fast pace of a thriller, but, like, the more, like, goriness of horror. I don't know, I really, really, really liked this. My thoughts are, like, not making sense. I feel like I'm not articulating very well how I felt about this, but I think if you're just looking for something fun, something quick, something very, very bingeable, please pick this up. I really, really enjoyed it, but now it's time to do another spin. Okay, round 2 for the spinning wheel. I'm not sure what I want. I'm really not sure what I want. Author I have read from before. I do not know if I have one of these. Oh, let me look. I did find one. I'm going to do The Jade Setter of Jan Loon, which is by Fonda Lee. This is in the same world as the Greenbone Saga, which I know you're probably sitting here like, didn't you love the last book in this series? I did give the last book a very, very high 4 stars. However, I don't like novellas or like short stories typically that are set within the same world. They just don't typically work for me, so I don't read them. And I think that if I had not landed on this prompt, I would probably never read this, even though I loved this so much. And so the audio is on Everand, so I think I'm going to listen to that. This is a shameless plug that if you want to try Everand, there is a free trial link in my description bar. It gives you 60 days and it gives me 30 days. It's in every single one of my videos if you ever are looking to try out Everand. I honestly really like it for audiobooks, specifically for things like this, where I'm reading a lot in 72 hours. It is always helpful to have. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do for this next one. Okay, it's getting later and I'm definitely starting to get tired tonight, which is not good because I still have like 2 more hours of sprinting ahead of me. My plan is to go till midnight. It's about 10 o'clock now, but I'm about 50% into the Jade Setter of Jan Loon. Essentially, this goes back to the world of the Greenbone Saga. The way the magic works is some people can use jade, which essentially makes them stronger and enhances their ability. It kind of reminds me of a drug, but only some people have the ability to use jade. And so we follow an apprentice jade setter who puts like the jade into weapons or the body of the people who want to use jade, because you have to have the jade like ingested into you somehow for it to like power you. When the shop for jade setting is given one of the clan leaders' weapons and someone comes and steals it, our main character ends up going on like a mission to find the thief and the weapon before the clan leader finds out and kills him. I wasn't expecting much from this, and honestly I feel like it's giving what it's giving. I'm not loving it. I'm not hating it. I think it's probably going to be a 3-star. I was really just kind of hoping for a new perspective on the whole Greenbones. I thought it'd be cool to see someone from the outside looking in a little bit, because the Jade Setter is not from any of the 2 clans that we follow in the Greenbone Saga. They're from like a neutral clan. I thought maybe we would see the clan in a different light. And that's kind of what I wanted from it. At this point, I'm not loving it. I don't know. It's just like very mediocre, which it is what it is. It's a quick read. I'm almost done it. You can see the fire glowing on my face from my computer fireplace on YouTube. Just like as predicted, I finished Jade Setter and I'm giving it 3 stars. I think if you're just looking to be back in the Greenbone Saga world, you will really like it. It feels like it could have been a POV within that story. Like, it feels like you're reading the Greenbone Saga again. Fonda Lee has a tone in that story. I've read more from her, and her writing, her like literal writing skills are incredible. She has the way to write stories that the voices feel so real, and I feel like the Greenbone Saga just feels like the Greenbone Saga, and that feels like it is a part of it. But overall, I just didn't really need it. I wouldn't have read it without this spin, for sure. It was okay. I did do another spin while I was listening, and I did land on Wild. So I am going to pick up a little novella and be my last read of Thursday evening and do This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau. I'm really excited to read this little short novella. Lexie has really recommended this to me, so I am hoping I enjoy it. Good morning. It's Friday morning at 7 a.m. It is far too early for me to be up and like productive in my opinion. Coffee's necessary today. I probably got about 6 hours sleep last night. We got off sprints at midnight. I probably went to bed around 1:30 because I watched the newest episode of Summer House since it premiered last night. I'm very excited to see the Carl Lindsay drama go down this season. And then I woke up around 6:30 this morning. I'm definitely feeling a little tired today, and it's only day 2, so what's wrong with me? This morning I'm going to finish This Is Where We Talk Things Out. I got pretty far last night. I have about 30% of this left. This one follows our main character who has a really tense relationship with her mother. When her father dies, it just gets worse and worse and worse, but her mother's reached out and asked her to go to a cabin with her, and our main character agrees as like one last attempt to bond again with her mother before her wedding, and they go. And things get weird from there. Like, it's getting weird. It's escalating. So far, I think it's very enjoyable. I like the conversations on parenthood, like mother-daughter trauma and things like that, and gaslighting. There's a lot of gaslighting in this book. I'm really interested in how this one is going to end, that's for sure. Another 5-star from me. I really, really liked this one. I loved the ending quite a bit. I think that the conversations in this are done so beautifully. The characterizations are done so beautifully. This is such a short little book, but it packs a punch in my opinion. It gets really deep in 70 pages. I think the grief horror could be where I lie in my horror. I think I like it. I'm not entirely sure. I need to play and read a little bit more. This was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book. Another book that Lexie recommended me. She recommended me this and The Stowaway, and both I gave 5 stars. So Lexie's on a roll currently. And like, should I go back to Out of My Comfort Zone and read another Lexie rec? No, I'm gonna be in my comfort zone today, and speaking of that, let's do another wheel, but like, I don't know, if you're looking for a short read, pick This Is Where We Talk Things Out up. The setting was so creepy, the characterization was so good, the conversations were incredible. This book, it packs a punch, but it's time we do another spin. In my comfort zone, what are we gonna get? Less than 300 pages. Do I have something less than 300 pages in my comfort zone? Oh, I do. Never Die is 270 pages. Perfect. I'm going to read this one. That's exciting. This is one I really wanted to get to. I am about 40% into this. I don't love it. It's feeling just a little mid to me. Like, it's okay. I've loved everything else I've read from Rob J. Hayes, so this is kind of a letdown for me, but I do think it's going to be getting a 3-star, unless the ending really changes my mind. In this, we're following our main character, In, who is set on a quest to kill the Emperor, but he can't do it. He's just a young boy. Instead, he has to find 5 heroes to do it for him. In order to serve him, they have to die first so he can bring them back to life, and they will be bound to him. So we're essentially following these characters as they go on this quest to find these different heroes, to kill them, to bring them back to life, to then go kill the Emperor. It's a lot of traveling. I'm not a big traveling kind of person. There was a lot of traveling in Pawn's Gambit, which is set in the same world as this, but I felt like it was very interesting. I don't feel like this and Pawn's Gambit are that different besides the reasoning behind things, and I think Pawn's Gambit does it so much better than this story. I think maybe I would have liked this more if I had read it first, which it is technically the first standalone and Pawn's Gambit is the second standalone, so maybe I did myself dirty in that way, but I don't know, it feels like I've read it before. I think because I've read the magic system and the world building, I'm not as engrossed into that because I feel like I learned all about that in Pawn's Gambit. It's just very repetitive. It truly does remind me of an anime. Think like first season of One Piece, where they are just going to a place, they're gonna be in a battle, and then they're going to recruit someone, and then they're going to go to the next place. They're going to be in a battle, and then they're going to recruit someone. It really does resemble that style of storytelling. I am taking the time though, because I have an audiobook, to work on my genre blanket and stay up to date, because normally I fall off the wagon within these 72 hours because I read so many books. So I'm really taking any time possible to stay up to date on it during this weekend, and this is Never Die, so like I'm being on top of it. I only have 100 pages left, and I'm really thinking about DNFing. It's so boring. I'm so sad. I don't even want to talk about this one. I'm giving this 2 stars, which is the biggest disappointment for me. I love Rob J. Hayes. Everything I've read from him, I've really thoroughly enjoyed, so this is such a letdown. I just don't think this added anything to the Mortal Techniques world for me. I definitely did not need this. I don't think that I enjoyed it very much. I think the characters in this fall really flat for me, and we spend a lot of time with them. They also really just remind me of the characters in Pawn's Gambit, and I didn't need those characters like recycled through. I think the pacing was also really weird because it's like this slow character study, but like we don't get enough depth into the characters, and we're just full of like action-packed scenes. It does truly remind me of that anime, like I said earlier, and I just like didn't feel ever like engrossed in this. I didn't care what was going on. People are like, oh my god, the twist at the end. And I was like, what twist? What twist? I get it. I do know what twist. But like, there's also something that's spoiled on the back of the book for the end of the book that I wish wasn't there. So I'm not going to say it out loud, but like, that would have been a way cooler revelation, I think, if I hadn't read the back of the book. And overall, I really just thought this was boring. I don't know what else to say. Oh, I'm so sad. I do think that, like, in general, Rob J. Hayes is just a phenomenal writer, and this still stands by his, like, writing skills. It feels very polished, but was just not for me. Not for me at all, and we are moving on to the next spin. So let's spin again. New author. I think I'm gonna use one of my respins. I don't think I have a new author on in my comfort zone wheel that I'm really interested in reading. Maybe I'll remember one later, but I think I have a respin, so I'm going to use my respin now. Well, I'm glad I used my respin since I got wild. But now the options are limitless. Truly. This is my next, like, really big priority for the weekend, so I think I'm going to try it, but I am a little bit nervous to read this after I just had such a sad book because I am worried I'm going to DNF this. I've never tried a bully romance before, and I know that this is a bully romance, and I have read a Claire Sager before, and I didn't love it either. So I think I'm definitely nervous for this one, but it's a priority for me, so I think I'm going to go with Slaying the Shifter Prince, which is a fantasy romance. I don't know much more than those things I just told you. Oh, cruelty as sharp as his claws. Particularly when it comes to his pets' punishments. I'm intrigued, but I'm nervous, and I think if I'm not loving this one, I am going to allow myself to DNF it. I probably should have DNF'd this one, but I do have a special edition coming of this that I plan on keeping because it matches like the entire series. So I just didn't want to DNF it because I wanted to like have said I had read it, and that's why I owned the special edition. I'm about 100 pages into this, and my initial reactions are pretty good. So far, I'm really liking the setup, and I actually am not minding the, like, bully romance part of it. I kind of wish he wasn't, like, cat-like, especially because I feel like this does not give that, but I'm not hating it. I like her. I think she is going to be pretty cool. It's my dinner break time. We're just having a, like, salad. It's cabbage and chicken. There's supposed to be mushrooms on it, but I don't like mushrooms, so I allotted to skip them. But that's my dinner. Most days, he left me with Celestine as though he couldn't stand the sight of me. But I knew better. He couldn't stand liking the sight of me. I'm honestly kind of obsessed with this book. I did not see this. Honestly, I thought there was a chance that I would like it, but I didn't think I would have this much fun with it. I was really scared of the bully romance, but I'm definitely into it. And I don't know what that says about me, and I'm 100% okay with it. The way that they are, like, putting each other to the brink of, like, their emotions and making things so tense and just, like, really playing with each other's emotions is really working for me. So this story follows our main character whose sister was murdered by the Fey Prince. She wants revenge. She tries to get her revenge, but he catches her red-handed. He ends up taking her back to his castle and makes her his pet and treats her like a pet. The way she fights back, I love her. I literally love her. I'm really enjoying this. I was not expecting this. I am gonna go shower because I'm really cold and I need a little pick-me-up because it's only 7:30 and I feel like I am losing steam. How am I gonna stay up late tonight and tomorrow? I don't know. I don't even have to stay up that late, but I did get up really early today, so yeah, I'm definitely losing steam. I kind of wish I was Mickey currently. So we're gonna shower, get myself refreshed, and finish this book tonight. That's my only plan for tonight. It's midnight, so it is the end of Friday, and I have finished my last Friday read as well. I'm giving this one 4 stars. I really liked my time with this, and I'm so completely shocked by that. There are definitely things that I don't gravitate towards in my books, and smut is one of them. I do read smutty books, but I like the smut to be very minimal in them. And this is not that. There's a lot of smut. There's a lot of like kinky stuff in this, and I ate it up. And I'm so shocked that it worked so well for me, but it did. I just feel like the writing in this was so good. It felt so polished, and we had like a really deep conversation on trauma happening. Honestly, if you have a story of grief and trauma and it's done well, I probably will like the book. I think that that is one of my favorite things to read about in any genre. This did that for me. I have no words. I have no words. I was just like giddy with joy reading this. Like everyone was making fun of me on sprints because I kept turning my camera off, but I literally was just like so smiling big reading this. I just thought it was so enjoyable. I knew Claire Sager had strong writing. I've read from her before. I just was not expecting to love this because I don't know. I didn't think bully romance was going to be for me. And I ate up every scene of them like interacting because it was just funny. I don't know. I laughed and I like thought when they finally like admitted their feelings for each other and that they didn't hate each other, it was really cute. I really did think about giving this 5 stars, but I didn't love the ending because there's a thing that happens at the end of romance books in this that I literally hate. It's very specific to me. I don't like it when the characters do this one thing. And it happens in so many romance books, specifically in the epilogue, and it can ruin a book for me. So I did bring it down a star because I didn't love the ending. I do prefer non-standalones. I think a duology is the perfect amount for me in a fan row. So I do really wish this had been a duology because their feelings flip a little quick for me from hate to love. But overall, I just really enjoyed this. I really did. I really did. There's a message at the end that talks about these characters being in book 2 and 3 of the Case of Iron series. And I gave that first book 2 stars. And now I'm like, do I try the second? Because like, I want to see these characters again. Do I continue? Because like, I want to see what else can happen with that tail. There's a tail scene in this. And if you've been with me since my Ice Planet Barbarian days, this did what that could never. That first book at least. I don't know what I'm saying. It's midnight. I need to go to sleep. I was stressing about what wheel I'm going to spin tomorrow. I have no idea. Out of my comfort zone, in my comfort zone, both of them have left me with like really good highs from books. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess that's a tomorrow casty problem to figure out. Good morning. I'm a lot less sleepy today. I got probably about 7 hours of sleep last night, which is good. I like 7 hours. 7 hours is a good amount, personally. I need to do another spin though. And I have no clue. Also, my hair is just like slept on hair, so ignore it. And I'm literally still in the same outfit you saw me go to sleep in. I have no idea what wheel to spin. I'm really stressed. Whatever wheel I don't do, I will do tomorrow. But I just have so many good options for both wheels, and I'm having such a good readathon that it's making it very stressful. So I'm gonna do the cheating thing again. And I am going to spin and then choose what wheel I'm using based on the spin I get in the book I want to read, because I just can't commit beforehand. Commitment issues. But let's do this little spin. A friend recommendation. These are all for out of my comfort zone, and Lexie recommended all of them to me. My only issue is I'm kind of in a fantasy mood today. I think I would pick the writing retreat for this and then afterwards get to a fantasy. So I think I'm gonna need to do some thinking because I'm gonna have to find a fantasy that's out of my comfort zone somehow that I have. I don't feel like reading just like thrillers and horrors all day long today. I am about 100 pages into this. I just started part 2. I'm liking it. From the first page, I automatically knew that I vibed with like the writing style style, which I think is a big deal. And I'm intrigued by where the plot is going, but I don't know where it's going, which is also interesting because I feel like stressed for our character. I feel like she's hiding something. I feel like the retreat's hiding something. So I am stressed, which is a feeling I like to get when I'm reading horrors and thrillers. I do think that this is a little bit slower paced than I typically prefer my books in one sitting. Like, I'm reading this in one sitting, so I wish it was faster paced than it is. But if I wasn't reading this in one sitting, I think it's a really good pace. Like, it is not slow paced, but it's just like not fast paced. As I said, I don't know the end game, but at this point, what I know about the synopsis is we're following our main character, Alex, who's all but given up on her writing dreams when she's given the chance to go to a writing retreat that is hosted by her favorite author. It's the chance of a lifetime, so of course she takes it, even though her ex-roommate, ex-friend, now current rival is also going, who she's been avoiding at all cost. When she gets there, there's a big bombshell about how it's not just an easy writing retreat to help you grow in your writing skills, but actually all the writers have to write an entire novel during this 1 month stay, and if you aren't making your deadlines, you will be sent home. So of course that puts a lot of stress onto the thing. At this point, I don't know what's happening. In the synopsis, it says that someone goes missing in a snowstorm. It is an isolated setting. I really do like the isolated setting. It's in like a gothic mansion in the middle of nowhere, a town really far away, and obviously there's going to be a snowstorm. So I'm curious. I kind of wish that at the 100-page mark, the person had gone missing already. It does kind of feel like a slow setup considering it's not that long of a book. I think it's like just over 300 pages. The fact that I'm almost halfway and like the plot line hasn't been set up kind of annoys me, but not enough to ruin my enjoyment of the book as a whole because I've been intrigued so far at all times enough. But I think that adds to like how I wish it was just a little bit more faster paced. Anyways, I ordered McDonald's and I think it should be getting here, so I'm gonna go grab that, and I'm just ready for some greasy food after all the salads I've been eating. The thing that was supposed to happen finally happened. I'm holding my camera with my non-dominant hand. It's really shaky, but Mickey is laying on my arm. But essentially, things are getting good. I kind of wish it happened about 50 pages earlier, but like, I'm really, really, really interested now. I'm giving it 4 stars. I don't know what's in the water because there's something in the water that is making me just like love and enjoy every single book. I'm picking up books, literally flying through them. I kept telling them to keep sprinting. I didn't want to stop to talk. Let's just skip the talking portion and just get back to the reading. This was highly, highly addictive in the second half. The first half, not as addictive, and that's why I got 4 stars. I think it could have been about 50 less pages just because of that first half. The pacing, I think, really struggled within that first half of the story, but the second half, 5-star vibes very easily. And I think if I was a less critical reader, I would be giving this one 5 stars just based on like pure enjoyment alone. I think I would read more from this author. I really truly just think that this was such a good time. I don't know how else to explain it. I think this is a no brain power read for sure. Just something fun and quick and easy and perfect for something like this in my opinion. Like the second half, I don't even understand. I can't believe this. I was done with thrillers. Like a year ago, I said I was done with thrillers. I typically never like them, and I've picked up 2 in this readathon and loved them. So I think I need to start rethinking my decision on thrillers. Oh, I'm recontemplating my entire life within this little fort. Anyways, I did spin again. Wild. I'm getting all the wilds. I'm kind of feeling the like weird unhinged vibe still, so I decided to pick up The Tent by Keelan Patrick Burke for this spin. This is an author I have read from and liked before. I'm stretching it for the out of my comfort zone wheel. I truly just still only pick his books up during things like this because of the short novella form. Like this is 100 pages and I just don't gravitate towards those. Those are not things that I reach for. I really need a push to read them, and so that's why I think it's out of my comfort zone. Not necessarily the author itself, but the format, the like length of it is really something that I struggle with, even though I like his writing. I don't know why I'm explaining to you as if I haven't already read it at the time you're seeing this video. I need you to validate my thoughts in the comments. I finished The Tent. I did not update you while I read this because it was just so short, and I honestly have no idea how to tell you what this is about. We follow a family who go on a hiking trip to fix their marriage, but while on this trip, their son goes missing, and while trying to find him, they come across a tent. I don't know what I just read. This was weird. And Keelan Patrick Burke is always weird, but this was really weird in my opinion. I think this is my least favorite novella from him. It didn't feel as cohesive as his other ones. I feel like I wanted more of a cohesive theme to it. Like there was one though. I don't know how to explain this because like there is like a theme to it, but I feel like the theme and the weirdness felt like two separate things versus in his other books they feel intertwined. So yeah, I do think this is my least favorite one. I'm still giving it a 3-star. I didn't love it as much as his other stuff, but it still really reminded me of his writing. This was a quick, easy read for me though, so I'm glad I got it in. We are going to do another spin. I also ordered dinner. I ordered sushi for myself, so that's fun. I might go watch a YouTube video, to be honest. I'm feeling a little bit of a reading slump. I've read a lot and a lot of good books, so I'm kind of like in like almost like a high slump. Like I'm slumping because I don't know. Like I want to keep chasing the high, but I'm scared I'm not going to get that high. So like I don't want to read because like what if I don't love the book? So I don't know. New release. I'll be back when I decide a book or if I do a respin because I don't know for this at all. I've decided to use a respin. I just could not find an out of my comfort zone new release. The closest I had was Slaying the Shadow Prince because Mel did say there was a decent amount of smut in that, but I still think that's a really big stretch. So we're respinning. A friend rec. That isn't what I wanted. I've decided to pick up Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke for friend rec. Another one that Lexie has recommended to me. We'll see if I'm on a roll with all of my horror. Eric Broca just really terrifies me, so I'm so scared of this.
Buddy, how did your sprint go? Cassidy looks grumpy again.
Why am I reading about an apple peeler? A great question.
Yeah.
So confused.
I'm 100 pages into this. It's almost over, and this book is so weird. I do not know how to think about it. I just don't at all. Oh god. That's my update. That is literally my only update. I don't even know how to tell you what this is about because it's just weird. We're just talking about apple peelers for a while, and now it's like 50 Shades of Grey up in this book, and I don't know what's going on. Oh. Oh. Mm. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck's going on? I don't know how to feel about this. I've done it. I read it. I probably a 4-star because of how deeply disturbed I am from reading that. However, I like my books to have more of a meaning than just being effed up. It's why I'm not the biggest extreme horror person, and I think, although I don't think I would call this extreme horror, I think it leans to that side where like it was just disturbing to be disturbing, and I wish there was more of a conversation to it. But it's definitely like fucked up, and I'm still giving it 4 stars because like, I gagged. Oh, that was disgusting. Like, who thought of these things? This is so weird. I don't even know how to move on from this, like at all. I think this broke me. I need to do another spin. I need to do another spin. Oh my god. Another spin. I don't know if I can do another Lexie friend rack after that. I literally just sat here for 10 minutes just existing because I couldn't get over that book. Can I read another Lexie rack? Oh god, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may need to use a respin. My hair is very wet. I decided to have a shower because Honestly, this book broke me. I was going to come on here and tell you that I was going to stretch my next book to be out of my comfort zone. Mel told me the smut happens really early on. She told me it's more about the romance and the fantasy. Those are all things that I don't gravitate towards in fanro. But truth be told, I just can't read something out of my comfort zone again. Although I loved this, it just traumatized me in the best way possible, and I love feeling that way. But I need to read something completely different, something comforting. So I'm picking up a fanro, and this is 100% in my comfort zone, but it is a friend rec, and it's slaying the Shadow Prince. I'm really excited to give this one a try. I'm existing after that book, so I hope that this just like sucks me in, because I just need something to distract me from the horrific things I read in this that I loved, but I don't want to keep thinking about. Good morning. I skipped the coffee this morning and went straight to sugar. So that's how my day is going. So good. I am truly feeling the readathon burnout today. Every 72 hours Sunday is kind of like the dead day, and I know that, so I typically pick one big book to read on Sunday. Of course, I cheated and I picked that last night. I picked Slaying the Shadow Prince. I'm struggling to read because it's just been a lot of reading, and I'm such a book hangover girly. I like to sit in my feels with a book when I love it, and I haven't been able to do that, and I've loved so many books this weekend. The readathon gods are looking down on me and saying this will be your weekend. Every single 72 hours I've found a new favorite book. So like, I'm not shocked that I loved something, but I have never loved this many books, just like sitting them in a row and reading them nonstop. And this one is no different. I'm 70 pages into this and I'm obsessed. If this isn't 5 stars, I will be shocked. In this one, we're following our main character, Drew, who her entire family was slain by the evil, like, wraiths, except for her and her father, and now she has turned into a ranger. She was a noblewoman, and now she is a ranger set on revenge. That's when Talamir comes in, who is a war sword. That is essentially this elite force of warriors in this world. But the thing is, he's also a bit of a shadow wraith. He was in contact with one and somehow has kind of survived the transformation, but no one knows he is a shadow wraith besides himself, and now Drew has figured it out, and she wants to kill him, but she also needs his help. So it's kind of like reluctant allies to lovers, which is my favorite freaking trope. And the way these two go at each other already, I literally love. And I love a pet name. I literally love a pet name, and he's calling her Wildfire, and I just like, she hates it. I love when they call her like, I don't even have words. I just love that. It's just like so endearing to me to watch them like call them an endearing name that you know is endearing but is also meant to like piss them off a little bit. I love it. I literally love it. So far, I'm really impressed with the world building, and this has me excited for the overall series that this belongs to. I want to keep reading, but I'm also on readathon burnout, so it's like a struggle of emotions currently, but I think I'm gonna put the audiobook on for a little bit and edit some of this vlog, just like clean out all the silences and stuff and make my thumbnail. And then I gotta hop on sprints because I ignored sprints this morning just for my own sanity. So I should probably join them and not make them do all the work. What did I do to deserve this? Because I am on chapter 10. I'm 130 pages into this. I keep trying to edit, and I have to stop every second while I'm editing to highlight something in the Kindle book so that I can go back and annotate this book later, because holy moly, this is like, what it's like, they're so cute. Oh my god. Oh god. I'm like obsessed with Helen's writing style and the way she adds everything in. Like, there's always a little bit of everything, like a little bit of world building, a little bit of teasing, a little bit of spice. I don't know. This is really, 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 really working for me. He's currently really embarrassed because of things. And I'm just like, oh god, I can't make sentences. I literally can't form full sentences because I'm so obsessed with this. I love him. I love her too. I love them. I love this. I am about halfway through this one, and I'm still loving it. I do think this is a lot more romantic and romance heavy than my usual go-to. There is definitely more smut than what I usually like less slow burn. They've already done it and we are halfway only, which my usual style is just very much slow burn until like the very end. And I think the reason that doesn't bother me in something like this is because it's a standalone. And so if I think about my preference in fantasy romance, I like a duology. So there's typically more smut in the second book. And if I'm thinking about this, halfway through would be the end of book 1. I'm okay with a little bit of a quicker smut in a standalone. I truly love these two together and I think they make each other better. It's a lot less toxic than a lot of fantasy romance in my opinion. There's not a lot of deceit and lying. Like, I mean, it's a fantasy romance still, so like take that with a grain of salt. I think that they're good for each other. I truly think that they are a healthier couple than a lot of things we are reading. But my favorite thing about this has actually, besides the couple, has been learning about Wilder. And Wilder is our main character in Blood and Steel. He is the love interest, I believe. So the fact that I get to see him and like little tidbits of his personality early is making me really excited to read this series. And I'm hoping this means that in this series I get to see these two, because that would make me very, very happy because I love them. Also, I want to say there's a good amount of plot still in this one, even though it is romance heavy. I'm really enjoying the plot as well. This had a lot less plot than this, for sure. There are many things I don't do that I would gladly do for you, he murmured. Tell me why he's so sweet. But I do gotta say, why do always writers in these things describe the eggplants as impressive? She just went, oh, his impressive eggplant. I have never once looked at someone's eggplant and thought, that's impressive. Like, what? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong eggplants or something. But, like, I've never also not thought one was not impressive. So, I don't know. One of the easiest 5 stars for me to give. I loved this. And I know I'm kind of hypocritical because I didn't like the end of this one, but I loved the end of this one. There's something about the pacing and the style of romance that made the ending of this one irritate me and the ending of this one make me fall head over heels. I'm now trying to think about how this one ends, and I think that they're all gonna end like this, which I think I should be okay with. I'm just gonna go into it knowing that. I don't know, it just like didn't fully work for me in this one, but it did in this one. I'm so damn excited to read this. Like, after this is going to be incredible. I already know I love Wilder as a character. I loved his moments in this. I started to like highlight all his moments on my Kindle because I really liked him and I wanted to like look back in this book and be like, yes, we saw things in here that we see in here. I'm excited for where this book sets us up for that series because this is clearly a prequel. And I honestly am just excited about the world. Like, I think in general, the world that was explained in this, I loved the magic system. I loved the world building. I loved the politics. I loved the scheming that we've already seen like hints at, how everything is not as it seems. And I'm ready. I think I could be obsessed with this series because I'm obsessed with this. This. Ugh, it was so freaking good. You should read it. That leaves me with 3 5 stars this weekend. The Stowaway, This Is Where We Talk Things Out, and Slaying the Shadow Prince. 3 4 stars. Things have gotten worse since we last spoke. The Writing Retreat, and Slaying the Shifter Prince. 2 3 stars, which is The Jade Setter of Janloon and The Visitor, and then 1 2 star, which we're just gonna pretend I didn't read Never Die. You know, disappointed. However, I count both 5s and 4s as new favorite books, so I have 6 new favorite books that I read in this readathon. This wheel right here is my best friend. I need to bring it back at some point because this, like, what? As I said earlier, we always do at least one of these a year, if not 2, so keep your eyes on mine, Mel's, and Lexie's pages. Also, I need to give extra shout out to Lexie because 4 out of my 6 new favorites I read because of her. Thank you for joining us. Let me know down below in the comments what your favorite read of 72 hours was, and make sure to subscribe to all of our channels. Thank you to my fellow co-hosts who are all incredible. I literally just can't believe how great this readathon was. If you're looking for another readathon to be a part of, I host a month-long readathon in March called RealmAthon. I'll leave the announcement video right here for you to click on. This year's a school setting. We have 4 realms competing in Realm Wars. Put their realm of magic on top of all the others on the leaderboard. If you'd like to just leave me an emoji just to say you were here today, leave me a cat emoji.